Team Talk Podcast, episode 32. It's me, Coach. Obviously, you guys know from last weekend, Samuel's not going to be here. He's enjoying himself on his stag. So, he's going to be tied down really soon. So, congrats to Samuel. Hope you had a good time wherever you went. I'm not going to bait up your location and whatnot, but I hope you had a good time. And hopefully be back either next week or maybe after the international break. We'll see. But it's me today, Coach. I'm going to be hosting it. We got a new guest in the building today. T, say hello to the audience.
Hi, audience. I'm T. Hopefully you'll be seeing more of me in the future, hearing more from me, taking a few of my views.
And T, you're an Arsenal fan, yeah?
I'm Arsenal all the way, yeah.
Okay, Arsenal all the way. Bread and butter. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go straight into it. We're going to talk about the North London derby. So what was your thoughts? What was your recap? What was your thoughts on the game?
It was a game of two halves. I mean, what can we really say? First half was Spurs, second half was Arsenal. There's not much more to say about it. I mean, disappointing first half from Arsenal. Went into the second half. Spurs decided not to turn up. And like I said, it was just a game of two halves. Nobody really wanted to take the win at the end of the day. And that's what ended up happening.
So what did you think about the formation when you saw it, or the lineup?
To be fair, the lineup in regards to Arsenal, it's just it's week to week. I mean, Emery hasn't sorted out what formation best suits Arsenal, what best defenders suit the back four, and it just shows in the way that we defend every week. I mean, every week we go into a game, I just know we're going to concede. It's quite simple. We are just going to concede. So I'm thinking to myself, what are the attacking players going to do? And who is playing in the hole behind Aubameyang and Lacazette? But
was the form, because from what I saw today, the formation looked like it was three attackers. So Aubameyang looked like he was more to the left, Lacazette was in the middle, and Pepe was on the right. Is that the right balance, you think, for Arsenal?
I think it's the right balance going forward. But the problem is what's going on behind it. Because them guys, they can score. We know that. Right? But who's behind them? Who's going to be feeding them these balls? Who's going to be defending? Who's going to be the flat back two in midfield? Do you get what I'm saying? Arsenal fans as a whole, we don't know what's going on week to week. We don't know what's going to happen back there.
So would you say, in terms of Arsenal, yes, the formation, you're going to score and stuff like that, but is it poor recruitment from the club, or you don't think Emery is getting the best out of the players that he's got right now?
That's a good question. It's hard to say because we're still in the transitional period. There's still players there from the Wenger era. There's still players there that Emery is probably having to use. And I know we've made one or two signings in the summer, but when you look at it, we've got Ceballos from Real Madrid. That's only a loan as it stands. You got Pepe there that's coming on a big price tag, but he hasn't hit the ground running, so he's probably going to need that year to bed in. And then you're thinking about David Luiz. Is he a defender or a midfielder? We don't know. he gives me so many traits of a midfielder, and he just looks, he can't defend. His job is to defend, but he looks like he can't defend as a primary objective.
Well, in terms of, like I said, going back to the performance of the team today, you said it was two halves. So, in the first half, what did you think was wrong with Arsenal? Was it just the defending? Because when I was watching it, yes, Aubameyang, the front three were getting the ball. I didn't think they were impotent enough against Alderweireld and Vertonghen. I don't think Aubameyang attacked Davinson Sanchez as much as he could have in the first half. So, what did you think was wrong in the first half performance?
I probably think what's mostly wrong about it is the way we structure the front three. So when we're asking Aubameyang to go out to the left, he's not a left winger at the end of the day.
Yeah, I did say that.
He's a number 9. He's a centre forward. Then you've got Lacazette, who again is a centre forward. So you're asking one of those players to play out of position, which sort of offsets the attacking formation. I mean, you could look at the Liverpool front three. You've got Salah, who plays on the right. You've got Mane, who plays on the left. And you've got Firmino, that plays down the middle. Now, out of them three players, they all seem happy and comfortable to play in those positions. Now, if you go and ask Aubameyang, are you happy to play on the left? I think he'll say no. But he's doing a job for the manager.
I agree. But should he have to do that? See, that's the thing I've been saying a long time in terms of with Arsenal fans. Yes, they want to see that front three, but you can't really see that front three unless you're offsetting one of the Lacazette or what's his name? Lacazette or Aubameyang, because Pepe can play either wing, so he's fine either way. Or is it a thing where you play two up top with Pepe in behind? Or what is it? Where do you find the balance?
It's the players they've got. You're not going to find the balance with those three players, if you ask me.
So what would you do? Would you drop anyone at the front three?
Listen, I'd personally start with the two up front. Aubameyang and Lacazette up front. Because once again, for this season, we already know we're going to concede. That's fact.
So you would put Pepe in the hole? Not
necessarily Pepe in the hole, but I would say to the manager, you got to choose two out of the three and play two up top.
And then drop Pepe?
It's a possibility. He's got a bed into the Premier League. I know you're laughing, but it's going to take time. It's going to take time. I think with the price tag that he's coming with, everyone's expecting him to just hit the ground running. But for me, he just looks off the pace a little bit. I know he's doing a little nutmegs here and there and stuff like that. But his decision making at the moment, the final ball and stuff like that, it's just not there as it stands. So I'd give him sort of 60, 70 minutes each game and bring him off or bring him on for half an hour.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. And then what do you think the difference was in terms of the second half? Do you think Emery got up in the players? Or, I mean, I know the goal before half-time was crucial. Yeah. That was very, very... Yeah. I think if Arsenal going down 2-0, I think it's a whole different ball game. Or
definitely.
Whatnot. But Emery sent out the team. They looked like they responded because they looked like as soon as the whistle went, they were just going for it. Now, I know it was the goal, but do you think it's also what Emery possibly said at half-time to get them going?
Well, to me, what it looks like, Emery looks like a motivator. At the end of the day, when they went in at half-time, I'm sure he got on a few of their backs. Do you know what I mean? Like you're saying, the goal just before the break, everybody knows in football, if you get that goal just before the break, you're still in the game. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
And then we went into the second half and then Spurs decided not to turn up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. We took control of the game and it was kind of just vice versa of what happened in the first half.
Yeah. I mean, my thoughts on the game, like you said, I agree, was two halves. I think Tottenham, once again, I'll just be brutal with them. They're just bottle jobs at the end of the day. For me, just Tottenham, there's something in that DNA over there that they're just bottle jobs. You're 2-0 up, you're cruising, Arsenal basically on the ropes. You've got so many half chances that if you find the right pass, if you find this, I mean, if Sissoko could ever hit the target just once in a blue moon, you're probably 3-0 up or whatever it is. But I just think it was just a bottle job from Spurs. I mean, I know Arsenal, they got the goal before half-time. Cool, couple ricochets, Lacazette puts it away. But for me, it's more to do with Spurs' lack of managing a good lead than it is to do with Arsenal making the comeback. Because Arsenal could have won that match. If there was no VAR, they probably would have won that match, to be fair. I don't know if the linesman did put his flag up, didn't he?
Yeah, he put his flag up,
for Socrates' goal, yeah. So, cool. So, he probably would have been still 2-2. But for me, where Spurs were 2-0 up, Arsenal fans were on the ropes. Arsenal players were on the rope. David Luiz got his arms in the air. Socrates don't know where to look, left or right. There's no more Monreal on your left shoulder. So, all that sort of stuff, I thought Spurs would maybe nick a third on the counter-attack or something like that. But Spurs just don't know how to manage games. And I think that's their biggest problem. Today was a bottle job from Spurs. That's what I feel anyway. But it was a game of two halves. I don't think Pochettino is going to be happy about what happened and whatnot. But who do you think this result basically helps more?
Oh. Once again, it's one of them things where it could be looked at two ways. Like, we're the home team. We should be saying to ourselves, listen...
And got a good record against Spurs at the Emirates.
At the end of the day, it's 2 points dropped at the end of the day for us. But going 2-0 down, Spurs have got to say to themselves, if they had a bit better management through the game, 2-0 lead, they should be winning that game. They should, home or away, they should be winning that game at 2-0 down. So... you can look at it both ways. It's one of them things, man.
So even being on the other side, let's flip the coin over. So even being constructive, obviously, I know you're an Arsenal fan, but even being constructive, what's your thoughts on actual Spurs this season? Because like Pochettino's come out and said, they said the squad's a bit unsettled. the window's about to close for Europe anyway on Tuesday. It looks like Eriksen's not going to get his move and whatnot. I think he put his foot out there too soon and whatnot. It doesn't look like he's going to get his move. So it looks like he will stay, possibly leave on a free. Me personally, I thought that Pochettino made a big mistake in bringing Dele Alli on. I didn't see the point of bringing Ali on. Like, you can tell that it's his first game back. I'm not throwing him in a North London derby. I'll throw him in a home game against Burnley or something like that just to get his feet. But I thought Lamela was doing decent. Like, obviously, maybe tactically, he wasn't happy with Lamela, the way he's defending, not closing the gaps in the middle, whatever it is. But when Ali came on, to me, it all fell apart. The balance fell apart. It even seemed like, obviously, he's not fully fit anyway. But to throw him in a game like that, obviously, he knows what that game's about. But to throw him in a game like that, I just don't agree with it. So in terms of Spurs this season, what do you think? Like, how do you think they'll get on?
Well, you can definitely tell there's something going on behind the scenes at Spurs. I mean, it is just in your face. I mean, Vertonghen got brought back today. We know something's going on behind we know something's going on behind the scenes with him. I really do think that the whole transfer window not closing at the same time as the rest of Europe has actually thrown Spurs under the bus.
Yeah, and he has complained about that, Pochettino, to be fair.
Yeah, you can just see it. He doesn't know who to pick. He doesn't know who's going to be sold. It's like Levy, Pochettino, who's in charge of transfers, who's in charge of who's going, who's in charge of who's staying. There seems to be something going on there. And I know when they bring out these things in the press and the newspapers and things like that, that there's not always truth to the stories. But for me, there is definitely something going on behind the scenes. Like, these stories don't come from nowhere.
Yeah, there's a bit of rumblings and stuff in terms of him resigning after the North London derby or whatever it is, and that rumour came out and whatnot, which was quite surprising to me, to be fair, that rumour coming out. But with Spurs, like you said, right now it's a bit. I think he just wants Tuesday to come. Once Tuesday comes, then he knows what players to work with and that. But even with Spurs' transfer policy, I know like teams like United, even Arsenal's got the same policy, which is just stupid. Like, the manager can't buy his own players. It's got to be someone up top that's doing player recruitment. Well, if you're not training the players every single day on the pitch, well, how do you know which ones to recruit? How do you know what type of personalities, characters that the managers want? So that whole model, this is why I'm glad that Man City and Liverpool are doing so well, because their model is showing that once the manager's in charge of everyday things and the players that he wants in and out of the club, you become successful. That's what happened. And those are the top teams, and that's what they're showing us this season. Like, but everybody else, like the structure of Arsenal, United, even Chelsea, when you got the Marinas, you got the Woodwards, you got the Edus or whoever it is up there now, Arsenal buying the players for the manager, to me it makes no sense structurally, and you can see on the pitch there's just this dysfunction. For me, there's just dysfunction like
there's
right
split.
now. So
there's a split.
For me, hopefully the clubs will learn a bit more in terms of the structure. Well, I hope United learn anyway, being a United fan. But even moving on, sticking to Arsenal now, Unai Emery. He's been here last season now. That was his first season. This is his second season, yeah? What's your thoughts on Emery as an Arsenal fan?
Right, so straight away out the gates, the first season, new manager, you get that season in lieu. So he's had that settling in period himself now. So now this season, it's quite simple. It's just Champions League or bust. Like, you've been able to bring in a few players that you know that you might be able to work with or whatever. But at the end of the day, we all know it's based upon results. So it's quite simple. Emery needs to get Champions League. But before he does get Champions League, he needs to settle down and look into what is his best formation and what are the best players that work in that formation. Because at the moment, I've seen 3 different teams on 3 different weekends this year already.
Yeah.
So that tells me that he doesn't know who's the best players to suit which formation and against what team. And he seems to be setting up formations to play against the opposing team, rather than setting up his formation to go for the win and believing that they're the best team that can get the win.
Yeah. I agree with that. He's had his settling down period.
Yeah.
And so would you give, because Emery, a lot of people forget this as well, Emery only came on a 2-year contract with the option to extend the 3rd year.
Yeah.
So for me, I've always said it like the last few weeks, in terms of Emery. I just don't think he'll be there next season because I don't think he's Edu's guy. Edu never brought him in, so that was the previous regime or whatever. This will be his second year, and it's down to the club now to either extend that third year. I think he was there just to set the foundations or whatever it is, and then the next manager's basically got to kick it on. What do you think? Would you keep him?
I'd keep him at the moment.
For the third season?
At the moment, I'd keep him. And I'd say why I'd keep him is because what he's done to get rid of certain players that were there. Whether it's him and the board or whatever it be, the players that I feel should be gone, mostly are now going. So in regards to sort of the El Nenes, I know it's only a loan. He's told Mustafi that, listen, you're not playing. Yeah? Even down to the likes of Ozil.
Where's Ozil?
Ozil's on the bench, but he's just basically freezing him out. But Ozil doesn't look like he's going to go anywhere anytime soon. And this is the problem. So Emery's literally freezing out the players that he knows that he's not going to use. But some of the players that are there, the likes of Xhaka and these players, these guys haven't got a hope in hell. Let's be honest. Like, if you're pushing for those top teams and you're pushing for the fourth place or whatever it be, Xhaka is not going to get you there. Yeah? Socrates is not going to get you there.
Oh.
Yeah? Yeah, I know. Maitland-Niles, I know he's young, he's inexperienced. He's not a right back.
Yeah, he's not a right back.
Yeah. Kolasinac, he's not going to get you there. These guys are not going to get you into Champions League football. Yeah, these guys are not going to win you the title. So it looks to me like there's going to be a secondary transitional period where once Emery's got to the end of this season, there's going to be a lot of more outgoings as well. Because we've got to get in sort of, obviously Tierney's not fit at the moment, but these are the guys that Emery likes, these sort of workhorses. These guys that are going to run for him before anything. No excuses, do you know what I mean? So, like I said, I'm going to give him time. I'm going to let the squad settle down. I'm going to let Bellerin come back from injury. I'm going to let the left-back Tierney come into play. And sort of by December times, I'll know what's going on for the squad this season. Yeah, I know the direction that we're going in. But at the moment, it's up in the air. Whether we get fourth place or not, it's debatable. They sort of asked Chelsea, Man United, we're all dropping points at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So you would give him that third year?
I'd personally give him the third year.
Okay, cool.
Unless you can bring in an elite manager and say to me, okay, this is the manager that's going to take our club forward over the next 5 years, you might as well leave him until all the deadwood has been got rid of, and then we can start that secondary start again on a secondary period basis.
So would you be happy if you finished 7th and you won the Europa League?
I'd be happy with that, honestly.
Okay.
And that's just being real. I'm not here to just make up the numbers in competitions. We need to win. It's quite simple.
You know what I always say, and I'll ask you this question as well. What I always say when people say, we need to get in Champions League, we need to get in Champions League. Like, even United fans have got to the whole stage of, we need to get in Champions League. What my thing is, getting into the Champions League doesn't guarantee getting the top players. It's more banter for fans. Exactly. That you're not playing Thursday nights. Well, so my thing is when fans keep saying getting Champions League, but you ain't got no chance of winning the Champions League. It's not like we're the teams from Russia or Apoel Tel Aviv or all them teams that get in there for financial gain. With your Arsenal, Man United clubs like that, and we're still talking about Champions League, why your fans keep talking about we just need to get in Champions League when you have no hope of winning it? And with Arsenal, they've been in the Champions League for the last 20 odd years, and you're still not buying the top players with that Champions League money. So why do you think fans are still fixated on this whole, let's get into the Champions League, and that's a success?
I think it's down to the promotion of the Champions League. When it comes on a Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and you hear that Champions League music at the start, it's just a different aura to the Thursdays when you're playing at sort of 5:15. You're not even home from work and the game's going on. And you're halfway over the world in Russia.
So would you say basically it's basically banter for the fans?
It's basically banter because at the end of the day, when you really look at it, in regards to Arsenal, we're at our level. We are at our level. And I say we're at our level because in regards to the Europa League, we made the final this year. So that tells you that that's the level you're punching at. Yeah? You don't make finals for no reason unless that's your level. And we are just at our level. And it's quite simple. There's no two ways about it. And I've been saying for years and years and years and years and years, we needed to drop out of the Champions League to start the reshuffle at the club.
And do you see that reshuffling happening? Or do you see you falling back way and way?
I think it's happened to a degree, and it's happening in stages. So, out with the old, in with the new. So, Gazidis is gone, number 1. Wenger's gone, number 2. These guys were sort of at the club, and they sort of turned into bad apples. They were there too long. They were doing what they wanted to do. They weren't investing the money into players. They're using sort of stat DNA, and they're bringing in players like Xhaka. I mean, just a funny stat today that I just left before I left to come here. Gary Neville said, or was it Graham Souness? They said that Xhaka made the most fouls in the Premier League in one single game. I mean, I think it was 7 or 8 fouls. I mean, he got booked on like the 7th foul. Xhaka could have easily been sent off in 15 minutes today.
I've never liked Xhaka. I just don't know what he is. I don't know what is he DM? Is he what is he? A box to box player? Is he a central? I don't see what he just seems like a player that's stealing a living.
He's stealing a living.
He's stealing a living, and he's left footed. That's how I see it.
Exactly.
If he was right footed, I don't think he would be in the game of football. Well, he wouldn't be playing for someone like Arsenal.
He wouldn't be.
That's for sure. I think the left footed thing has got him through since he's been growing up, etc., because I don't see what he brings to that Arsenal table. But Emery likes him. Anytime he's fit, Emery puts him in the squad and puts him in the team.
These are things that, with Emery, this is where I'm still unsure on him in regards to why Xhaka, why is he the captain? Like, what is he doing in that dressing room? Because I don't see it on the pitch. I don't see the leadership on the pitch. I don't see him taking the game by the scruff of the neck. I mean, I just don't see it.
Yeah, I'll get you. There. Well, Emery, listen, you got 1 year left. Well, not even a year, under a year now to impress the Arsenal fans, the board, and then to give you an extension. All right, moving on. United yesterday.
1-1 draw.
Yeah, 1-1 draw. Did you see the highlights or anything?
Yeah, I saw the highlights on that game.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'll discuss it because obviously I'm a Man United supporter. A lot of people know on this podcast that I've got strong feelings about the club and whatnot, but I'm more relaxed in terms of because people are talking like it's a crisis stuff. We know there's certain like channels and there's certain people and all. I just don't agree with what they're saying. I just call people out like we got Rants, we got Mark Goldbridge or whatever his name is that does his thing. Cool, these guys are passionate guys and whatnot, but sometimes it's like I just feel like obviously when these guys go to the matches, it's just an instant reaction in terms of your blood's boiling and this, that and the other. Like, I'll go back to the game to start off with. Like, for me, what's annoying me about United is that they're not killing off games. Like, we go 1-0 up, good possession of play, good goal by Daniel James, who's been really good and whatnot. But we don't go on to try and get the second. Like, we want to sit back, waste time. Ashley Young wants to take 10 seconds to take a throw in. Even though I'm not going to get onto him, but it's just little things like that where we're in the 37th minute. And I can see guys already slowing down their pace. We're already 1-0 up. And we can't rely on clean sheets right now. Even though I'm happy with the defence. I've got no problem with the defence. The defence looks solid for me at the end of the day. Lindelof, we all know he's not good in the air. We've known that from day one. Same way as David De Gea is not good at getting crosses. That's what guys like that are just about. David De Gea, doesn't matter how old he is, he will never be good at coming to get crosses. He's a good shot stopper, that's it. Lindelof, I've just accepted that he's not good at headers. And if you're a smart team playing against Lindelof and you've got a powerful striker or whatever it is, or you're going corners, you put your most powerful person that can head the ball on Lindelof. That's what you aim for. And he's the weak link aerially for us. But in general, it's fine. What I don't like is the overreaction. Like, what I wanted to see from Solskjaer when he came in, I need to see the direction. You already get Man United. You're the first manager to actually get Man United in and out. You've played for United. You know what the badge means. You know what the club means. You know what the character of how you're supposed to carry yourself in the club. And for me, I was a bit stuck because I'm thinking, the transfer window is a bit slow. But now I'm seeing Valencia gone. Herrera gone. Who else has gone? Darmian gone. Obviously, Rojo's still there. Smalling gone. Obviously, they're still loaned, but I'm just saying they're gone. He throws out Jones and whatnot. Who else has gone in the team? Who else has gone?
Alexis is gone.
Lukaku's gone. So that's like 6 or 7 players right there. Yeah, right there. And these are players that the fans wanted to let go. Now, I understand fans thinking that this is some computer game where you can get 7 out and replace them 7 with other 7 players. It's not like that. If you look at Liverpool's rebuild, if you look at Man City's rebuild, if you look at Tottenham's rebuild when Pochettino came, they all got rid of the dead wood. Because at the end of the day, you've got to report to your owners. Now, your owners are looking at the balance sheet. And what they're seeing is that, yo, this wage bill is just way too high. Before we start getting in players to add to the wage bill, we need to get rid of the dead wood first.
Definitely.
And right now, Solskjaer is doing that slowly but surely. He's not being rude. He's not doing it slowly but surely. But to me, fickle fans, sometimes with their overreactions on channels or whatever it is, like for me, it annoys me because it's like you have to look at the bigger picture. We're going to go through these struggles. If we want to rebuild, we're not going to rebuild in a month, in 2 months. At the end of the day, he started with Wan-Bissaka and Maguire. 2 solid signings for me. James can just run around like a headless chick. It's up to him. He's just energy. I'm not expecting quality from James, but whatever he can give us, give us. That's cool. You always need those sort of players around.
Right.
They will just work for your team. But for me, the fact that I'm seeing the dead wood come out is showing me that, yo, Ollie's freeing up positions and freeing up spaces to go in again.
There's a
basically.
plan.
There's a plan there. And for me, I watch these reactions all the time and what, no, Ollie's this, Ollie's inept, Ollie doesn't know tactically, he's doing this right. Don't get me wrong. Like, people, when we talk about Ollie being tactically and he should have pulled off Rashford, he shouldn't be playing Lingard, this, that and the other. Well, who should he be playing? I'm hearing guys react and say, oh, we should have kept Sanchez. Or this is what happens when you let Lukaku go, you miss the goals. Don't start calling for Lukaku and Sanchez now. You're backtracking. You wanted them gone. You wanted them gone. Now they're gone. You want us to bring in 2 more players of that quality straight away. It don't work like that. And I think United fans need to understand. Stop looking at everybody else and look at ourselves. The rebuild for Klopp took him like 3-4 years to get his first trophy. Guardiola is a bit quicker for him because he's got the structure where this is what I want. You need to go out. You need to come in. Cool. Do you get what I'm saying? Tottenham, obviously Pochettino's just done a great job, just managerially, just getting the dead wood out and stuff like that. But for me, United fans, just calm yourself down at the end of the day. Calm yourself down. The deadwood's coming out, so obviously players have to come in. It's going to be a bumpy ride. It's going to be rocky. We may not get the Champions League this season. Cool. No point in getting Champions League anyway, because if you don't go and spend the money properly on top quality players, then we're not going to do nothing in the Champions League anyway. I'm not about being in the Champions League to just be in the Champions League. I want to do bits in the Champions League as a big club and whatnot. So United fans, like I said, calm yourself down, relax, look at the whole picture. You're going to go through ups and downs. If it's a rebuild, that's what a rebuild is. You've got to break the whole house down. You start with the foundations, which we have with Wan-Bissaka and Maguire, and then we're going to build it up from the midfield and stuff like that. Me, like, in terms of like even going next on to Rashford, yeah, for me, I've always said Rashford is an overrated English player. He gets away with stuff because he's Manc born and bred. That's me. If he wasn't born in Manchester and from Manchester, he would be getting crucified. He has no football IQ whatsoever. And hopefully people are starting to listen to what I'm saying. I even actually agree with someone like Rants on there where he says the same thing. Like, the IQ of Rashford has never been good. So when people were rating Rashford, and I'm telling man, Sterling is better than Rashford, they don't get what I'm saying. Because the IQ of Rashford is horrid. It's horrid. The IQ of Lingard is horrible. It's just, they're not footballers. They're just running around kicking the ball.
But this is where they're Manchester born and bred. So they're going to get that sort of extra time from the management, from the academies. They want these guys to play. Yeah. And that's what it is. They want these guys to play. Whether they make it somewhere else or not, these guys have to play. Yeah. They have to be in the squad. And
I don't think people understand that. They're talking about yesterday, oh, what does Rashford have to do? How bad he's got to play to come off? Well, come off for who? We're going to put Greenwood up there. What makes you think Greenwood would have done anything in 45 minutes? Yeah, he came on and done his thing in 10 minutes, but how do you know he wouldn't have fizzled out? At the end of the day, we're going for the victory. So the more attackers you have on the pitch, the better. Even though Rashford is playing pants and I am not a Rashford fan, I'm not getting to Ollie for taking Rashford off at the end of the day. Right now, Rashford's one of our main players. With the squad we've got, he's one of our main attackers. It's him, Martial, and who right now? James. Those are our main 3 attacking players right now. So bringing Rashford on and bringing Greenwood on, what are we going to do now? We're going to rely on a 17-year-old just trying to get us through the season. And then what happens if it doesn't work out for Greenwood? Then what do you say?
Well, this is the thing. United are in a transitional period, so I think the beef with most United fans is the time this transition's taken. So we're going back to when Fergie left. Then Van Gaal came in, or no, who was it? Moyes and then Van Gaal. So when Moyes came in, then Van Gaal came in. Then you got the guy you really wanted, or most fans did want. Mourinho came in, he failed. Now you've sort of gone back to sort of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who's been a part of the club for a long time, knows what it's like, knows what the fans want. And it is something where you're trying to use the academy players, you're trying to use young players, you're trying to use players that sort of will run for the team. And this is where I see sort of the Lukakus, the Alexises, these guys have just been sort of frozen out because they haven't come in, they haven't put the work in at the end of the day. They come in with the big names, the big price tags, and sort of, they just wasn't running for the team. Like I say, with Alexis, it's sort of a funny one because when he was with us at Arsenal, he was our star man. I don't know what's happened at United. I don't know if it was his dogs. I don't know if they didn't settle down in Manchester. You know, everyone says about the cold weather, the rain.
Yeah.
I really don't know what's happened there. I've put something in my head where I've just said to myself, I think the Old Trafford pitch was a sort of too big for him.
I've said it before as well. People would laugh at me when I say it. Like, he doesn't look... You don't look fast in the Old Trafford. Like, Rashford looks fast in the Old Trafford bit. Martial looks fast because they can travel. Distance. He works in tight pockets. And whatnot. So...
You're right, because when he used to open up at the Emirates, he used to be an on goal.
Yeah, straight away.
It's quite simple.
He used to be on
goal.
He
used to be able to fire off a shot, edge of the box, and that was that.
But what I don't like with United fans right now is that I don't want to hear people talking about Lukaku now. Don't stop talking about Lukaku, because when I was saying that we should sell, when people were telling me, oh yeah, so what, you would sell Rashford and keep Lukaku? Of course I would. I'm going to keep a proven Premier League scorer. I'm not looking for Lukaku to come in short, do a little Cruyff turn, great first time. I want him to be on the end of things because he's a goal scorer. No matter what you want to think about Lukaku, he's a goal scorer. And there's nothing Rashford has done in the last 4 seasons that makes me think, he's going to bag 20. Like a guaranteed 20. He's going to be in and around the 6-yard box. He's going to be in and around the penalty box getting them tap-ins. No, what Rashford wants is the free kicks, the 50-yard strikes, the cut-ins to strike and all that sort of stuff. He doesn't know how to get those 10 goals in the 6-yard box. He don't know how to get those 10 goals in the penalty box. He's not clever enough to understand that's how you build up your tally as a goal scorer. But everybody will tell me that he's a striker.
Well, that's what it's going to come down to at the end of the day. When you're sort of punching at the top of the league, these are the sort of difference makers. I mean, when you look at the top sort of 6, you can just go through the teams at the moment. I mean, City have got Aguero. He's going to score more than 20 this year.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. The combination
Sterling probably.
Yeah, the combination of sort of Liverpool's front three, one of them are going to score 20, if not 2.
Yeah.
City again, you got Sterling. Even going to Arsenal, you've got Aubameyang and Lacazette. These guys are going to score goals.
Strikers.
Yes.
They're strikers. Rashford is not clever enough to be a striker at all and whatnot. So, like I said, I don't want to hear people talking about Ollie's this or there's a United crisis. There's no crisis. It's just people are impatient. Yeah, be patient. It's going to be a rebuild. He's taking all the bricks down off the house. That's what he's doing. He's getting rid of all the dead weight right now. Whether it's him or Woodward or whatever, it's clear that Solskjaer's told these guys, you need to get rid of these players. Jones ain't been in the start. Jones ain't been in none squads.
I was about to say he hasn't been in the squad.
He hasn't been in any of the squad, not even on the bench. So for me, that's another good sign that, Jones, just like Ozil, you're not playing. I'm freezing you out. You're not playing. If you want to come and sit here and collect your wages, no problem. Wood was the dumb one that gave you the contract anyway. So come and collect your wages or whatever it is, but you're not going to be playing. Tuan Zabi's in front of you. And when Bailly's fit, he's going to be in front of you too. So it's down to you, Jones, if you want to play football or you just want to collect money.
He's got to push a move away, seriously.
But that's what I'm saying about what Ollie's doing. We have to start. It's either you do it one way or the other. You either get rid of the dead wood, bring in players to replace them that are top quality, or you bring in the top quality players and then get rid of the dead wood. But obviously, you have to look at football as a business as well. Owners don't want their wage bill stacking up and then we're struggling to get rid of Smalling, we're struggling to get rid of this player and that player. Like, that's not what they want. They rather get rid of them, go through a little bit of struggle, then they know that, listen, we've got about 6 spots like available in the whole squad. And we bring the quality. Me personally, I would like United to make their number 11 Callum Hudson-Odoi. That's me.
Oh,
he'll be compensation.
That's a big call.
He'll be compensation. We can fight with the wage bill on that, and you can let him know you're playing first team. Number 7 is now free. I'd like us to go for Sancho. Sancho and Callum in the same team, along with Martial and maybe a James on the left or whatever. I'm liking that. Callum in the hole, Sancho on the right, Martial in the middle, James on the left. I'll take that. Rashford, you can be the B striker coming off the bench. No problem whatsoever. I'm saying that's what we should be aiming for.
Well, this is a new direction that it seems United are going in. They're looking for the sort of the younger players, the players with sort of who are making themselves have a little household name. I mean, it's obvious that Hudson-Odoi is going to be a big player in the Premier League. That's just what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And if you can't see it now, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Jadon Sancho, once again, he's gone away. He's gone away to Germany. He's doing his thing over there. He's going to get a big move soon. I mean, me personally, my thoughts on it is he should stay there for another 2 years. That's just me.
Yeah.
He's got nothing to prove in the Premier League yet. He's still out there. How old is he? 20, 21?
No.
He's 18, sorry.
Sancho's, I think, 19 now.
19, yeah, sorry. He doesn't have to prove anything in the Premier League too early. Let him do his thing over in Borussia Dortmund. He's going to have the time on his hands. He's got Champions League football. The fans love him. I mean, he doesn't need to come over back to England right now.
Well, to be fair with Sancho, just touch on Sancho quickly. I think it's not even necessarily down to him. I think it's also the club he's playing for. They're a selling club. That's what they do. They flip bricks. That's what they do. They flip their investments. We'll buy you for 8 and sell you for 120. That's what Dortmund do.
It's true.
At the end of the day. So it's not like if he goes to a Bayern Munich don't have to sell. That's not their motto. They'll keep the quality that they want. They don't need to sell. Whereas Dortmund, they'll buy you for cheap. They'll tell you you're going to play first team and whatnot. Look what they even done with Pulisic. Look what they done with Dembele. Look what they done with Mkhitaryan. They're probably going to flip Jadon Sancho as well. So they're on this balance sheet stuff. And while people are looking for the big players and the Neymars and that, they just go under the radar. They go and get a little Sancho. They'll go and get a little this. They'll go and get a little that for 10, 11 mil. And then just flip their money. So
it's going to be big money for Sancho, though. That's the thing.
No, I don't think it's no less than 120. That's me.
Well, that's the figures I'm talking about as well, because what he's doing over there, what he's built up already, and we're only talking about, a year and a half? Yeah. I mean, he's only just had his full first season in football.
Yeah.
So, 120 million sort of minimum is what he's going to go for. And I'm guessing that United, I don't know, I don't think City would come back in for him.
No, City won't come.
I think they'll bite the bullet, yeah.
Just to save their blushes. But listen, the bottom line is, going back to United fans, calm yourself down. You're going to go through these ups and downs and whatnot. We're going to get the draws. We're going to get beaten by some of the top teams. It's just going to happen this season. Give Ollie time at the end. What's the point in going to sack him right now? At the end there, what's the point? What's the point in going to sack him and then go and get who?
I'm surprised United fans are calling for his head.
No, it's the knee-jerk reaction sometimes. Ollie's out of his depth. So if you're saying Ollie's out of his depth, what are you saying? That means you're saying Ollie shouldn't be the manager and whatnot. So there's no it's 2019. We can no longer go on the pitch and say we're Manchester United. That don't hold no weight no more. That's like Liverpool talking about what they did in the 80s, jumping on the pitch in the 90s and 2000s saying we're Liverpool, because no, you've got to build. They took about 30 managers before they got Klopp, and now they've got the stability. Tottenham took about 30 managers. Then they've got their Pochettino. Man City, how long did it take them before the oil money came in? And then they got the right manager now. So it takes time at the end of the day. I'm ready to give Ollie that time. But next summer is the big summer for United. It's the massive summer. We've got rid of the dead wood. Even if it's loan deals, they know they're not part of the squad. So even if his loan deals is cool, and even Woodward's been getting these little 2.5, 1.4, 6 million loan deals. So he's racking up the whole even loan deal thing, a little 75 for Lukaku and that. So he's even racking up the money. So money-wise, it's not like we're struggling to get the money in for these deadwood players, even though they're on loan. So United fans, just relax and just do your thing. So moving on, we're going to go to Liverpool. Did you get to watch a little bit of their match against Burnley?
Yeah, I watched bits and pieces of the game or whatever, and sort of what flashed up. Obviously, it was a good performance from them as a whole. Clean sheet, 3-0 away.
Do you think Liverpool look better this season than they did last season?
Oh, good question.
Even though it's a short games that they've already played 3 or 4 games or whatever.
I think they've continued on from what they was doing last season. As in, obviously everybody knows they only lost 1 game in the Premier League. They look like they have the energy at the moment to carry on doing it until further notice. Do you know what I mean? I mean, the questions will be asked whether they should have went into the market this summer and sort of brought in a fresh face to sort of kick them on again. But at the moment, as it stands, I don't think any Liverpool fans will be complaining about what they're seeing, because they're looking like they're just going to sweep every team under the carpet that they come up against.
Yeah. It looks like they're gonna the lower teams like the Burnleys, the Watfords. It looks like they're just gonna get the 3-0 and we're gonna move on and wait till we get to the big matches and see what we can do. Basically, they've already tucked away Arsenal, so that's one. So that's 1 down. But that's whatever it is. They always beat Arsenal at Anfield. But for me, Liverpool, they look sharp. They haven't really hit the ground running. In my point of view, I think it's just they're all about the front 3. That's me. Because when you look at that team, I don't want Milner. I wouldn't buy Milner from Man Utd. I wouldn't buy Henderson. I wouldn't buy Fabinho at the end of the day. I wouldn't buy Matip. I wouldn't buy these players for my team. And I'm sure Arsenal as well, if you were linked with them players, you wouldn't want them in your team either. But it's those front 3 where they get the ball up there quick, do damage, and everyone forgets about the rest of the team. And then the fullbacks as well. They just work up and down. So it's the fullbacks and the front 3 for me, and obviously Van Dijk, obviously, and then the goalkeeper Alisson when he's fit. Those 1, 2, 3, that's 5, about 6 or 7 of their core players in that first team makes up for the other ones that are not really great. And I think they, like you said, they've just hit the ground running again. The same thing they did last season, but I don't even think they've even hit their stride.
I think you're right on that one. I mean, like I was saying, when we say they just carried on from last season, they just continued, even down to sort of the Super Cup and stuff like that. They're just on a roll at the moment. I mean, for me, when Klopp was available, that is the guy that Arsenal should have got a few seasons back. They should have axed Wenger, got Klopp in, and then we would have sort of been seeing the same results that Liverpool are seeing at the moment. Yeah. And Klopp is a top manager, top motivator for me. He gets the best out of these players that you talk about, sort of the 6, 7 out of 10s, the Hendersons and the Matips. I mean, I don't think these guys could go to other clubs and sort of perform the way they're performing at the moment.
No, I agree.
I just don't see it. Henderson's sort of Liverpool's Shaka for me, but in the system that he's playing in,
yeah,
like you said, that front 3, they are just putting away their chances, and everybody's just working hard. Everybody knows what they're doing. Everybody knows how the system works, and they're just putting teams to the sword at the moment.
Yeah. I really agree with that. So, an incident that happened in the game.
I know what you're going to bring up already.
Yeah. An incident that happened in the game with Mane. Mane went a bit crazy at Salah for not passing the ball. Do you see that incident?
I saw the incident.
Pass the ball.
He's just got to square it.
Yeah, he's just got to square it. But you know what it is? The reason why we're bringing this up this week is because this is not the first time a lot of people have labelled this greedy sort of stigma on Salah. Like, it's been a few times where there's certain times he should be playing people through, etc., and he just does the greedy thing, like the blinkers. So, do you think that this is... Like, first of all, do you think Mane was warranted in his reaction? And do you think Salah is a bit too greedy?
I definitely think Mane's warranted in his reaction, because he's in. You've got to square it. It's a tap in at the end of the day. Like you said, it's happened before, and I think now, if it continues and it keeps happening, it could turn into something that could turn a little bit toxic in the dressing room. I know both players are sort of chasing the golden boot, but at the end of the day, it's a team sport. You've just got to square the ball. Yeah.
I think, and then the thing about it, I think Mane is so unhappy, is because he would have scored the ball.
He would have squared it.
He would have squared the ball.
For me, he squares it.
Because to me, he's the best out of the front 3. That's me, personally. And then a lot of the times, he gets brought off. So I think that also bubbled into his frustration. Like, you guys just saw the guy not square it to me, but you're taking me off. Like, and I think that just... Maybe it's something that's been building up in terms of, okay, is this your favourite here then? Because I'm doing a lot of the work. I'm setting guys up when they're supposed to be set up. This guy's being greedy and you're not taking him off. You're taking me off for that. So I think that's where he went a bit crazy with his reaction in terms of, it just boiled over for it.
Yeah. Like, it's one of those situations that I would say that you'd have to keep an eye on as a Liverpool fan, because it's one of them things that could sort of turn sour if it continues. If they get in that position again, the same thing happens again, it could turn sour. And that's like the sort of page that Liverpool are on now. They're sort of going for the big trophies. They're sort of look like they're going to be going for the Premier League again. Obviously, in Europe, anything can happen. They've just won the Champions League at the end of the day. Could happen again, you don't know. But these are the things that when you reach the top, can you sort of stay at the top? And just through experience at sort of Arsenal, when sort of we got the Invincible title and stuff like that, after that is when it started to fall apart. Players started to leave. They thought they weren't getting the wages, stuff like that. And it's a similar situation. By the end of the season, could Mane be thinking, hold on a minute, I'm not the main man here? And sort of if a team like sort of, let's just say, a Real Madrid sort of come in for him, is he just going to jump ship straight away? Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's true. Listen, it could happen, and it's something to keep an eye on, even though it happens up and down football clubs all the time, those disagreements. But we're surprised with Liverpool with their front three. They're just all about sharing. It's not about who gets the goals or whatever. It's just who's in the best position. But it just seems that Salah's the only one at the front three who doesn't understand whoever's in the best position gets the ball.
Yeah.
And whatnot. And
even in regards to Salah, I feel that over sort of the last 6 to 9 months, he's just become a little bit predictable. I feel that defenders are starting to sort of work him out now. So he's got to be a little bit more cute himself.
Yeah.
The goals will come at the end of the day. If you feed your teammate, he'll feed you. I'm sure of it, 100%. So let's see what happens in that situation.
Yeah, we'll keep a close eye on that. In terms of me personally, Salah, just be as greedy as you want, because you're my dream team. I need goals right now, boy. So you just need to just keep banging the goals. But yeah, so we still rate Mane anyway. But yeah, moving on. Boxing yesterday. Lomachenko versus Campbell. I watched the fight. You watched mainly the highlights, didn't you?
Yeah, I watched highlights.
So I watched the full fight. To me, I think Campbell did well. He stuck in there. But I just think there's levels to this sometimes. I mean, with Lomachenko, it felt like he was never stopping, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, he just felt like he was never... Even when he got caught by Campbell a few times, because Campbell caught him to the body a few times, but the way he played it off with his footwork and stuff like that. I've never really seen Lomachenko, to be fair.
Yeah.
I've just heard about him and blah, blah. I just don't like the overgas, because when I listen to people that are under Bob Arum, I just know how the media thing works. He's got friends in the media, they overgas his fighters, blah, blah, blah. So, but obviously I thought to myself, listen, let me watch Lomachenko a few times. Watched him a couple times now. This was my first time really watching him every single round.
Yeah.
Where it happened and whatnot. Luke Campbell did well, but I could tell from like the 5th, 6th round that if Luke Campbell could get to 12, it's a moral victory. Even though there's no moral victories in boxing. You win or you lose. But the way I can see... You can just tell Lomachenko's just a level above.
Yeah,
that's all it is. Like, he's just always consistent with his performance. He's just always consistent. Each round is consistent. I never saw a massive drop-off and then he had to go all the way back up. I just saw 8s out of 10. 8s out of 10. 8s. Each round, just 8 out of 10. Maybe a 9. Maybe a 10 at the end, maybe and stuff. But I just saw nothing below an 8.
Yeah.
Whereas Campbell, there were certain rounds where it was a 6, then it was an 8, then it jumped back then went down to a 5, then he went to a 7, then back down to a 5. So he was a bit up and down, but I just think it was just the level of opponent, because Lomachenko is a different level in that weight class. That's definitely...
Like you're saying, I think it was more of a moral victory for Luke Campbell, getting the 12 rounds in, making it a competitive fight, sort of going back and forth with Lomachenko. And this is when sort of the media are sort of pulling out, Lomachenko does have flaws and things like that. Yeah. But like you're saying, I think it's just down to levels. And Lomachenko's just elite level. I'd say that Luke Campbell is a top level fighter.
Yeah.
Where he goes from here is going to be completely up to him. Whether he gets back in, tries to fight for a belt again or whatever it be. But Lomachenko, he's just world class, it looks like to me.
Yeah, I was impressed with him yesterday, because I was very interested, because obviously with what I was listening to the ESPN commentary. I wasn't listening to Sky Sports, and obviously because Bob Arum is in bed with ESPN. Obviously, I knew they're going to gas up Lomachenko and whatever. That's what the media does and whatnot. And I just wanted to see what the hype was, basically. And I saw what he was doing with his foot movement, the pivots, this, that, and the other. Even though, like I said, Campbell caught him a few times to the body, especially the body. It wasn't the face.
He did, yeah.
It was the body but the way Lomachenko, like I said, played it off. Like, he would bounce back and then he would rock to the left, he'll rock to the right. But as he's rocking, he's getting his wind back.
Yeah, he's
but
really
it doesn't
cute,
look like he's proper hurt. But in his mind, he's hurt because he's felt the punch. Because he stopped punching for a few seconds and just bounced around. But when he's bouncing around, obviously you can tell that Campbell can't really get close to him either. Because Campbell's got the range. So he really wants Lomachenko to come in and use his reach, basically. But at the end of the day, it was levels. I mean, the scorecards were a bit... I didn't really agree with the score. I didn't think it was that wide.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was that wide. The way they did it. It was a class performance, but I didn't think it was that wide and whatnot. Maybe I would have gave it maybe 4 points between both of them or something like that. But the way it was scored, I didn't really agree with that. But Campbell did well from what I saw from Campbell, because obviously you analyse these guys in the first couple of rounds. And you see what they're really about and stuff like that. And Campbell, you can tell he's using his reach, using his jab. You can tell that he's got IQ, which I like about Campbell. He's just not that typical Ricky Hatton sort of British fighter. Let's go in there and brawl it out and just get knocked out. And then people just tell you, oh, well done for getting in there and being brave. Nah, he actually used boxing intelligence to fight Lomachenko. So
he had a good game plan.
But I do agree with the people that the lead up to it, where they were saying Campbell's only going to win this fight if he knocks him out. That's it. He's not going to win on points. He's not going to win on outclassing him. He's just got to... at some point, he's got to knock him out, basically. So
yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. I mean, like I said, it was a competitive fight, and I think that's where sort of Luke Campbell's getting all the plaudits from. So he made Lomachenko work through the 12 rounds. It was a little bit of back and forth through the rounds and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's hard to judge. I mean, in that division, there's not many big names, so you're not really sort of putting them up against each other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Lomachenko's got what, 4? Is it 3 out of 4 belts at the moment? I think?
Yeah. He's got 3 out of 4.
Yeah. So he's just trying to do the clean sweep at the moment.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to stop him. Now, that leads me into this question: do you think he's pound for pound right now?
Ooh.
Now, that pound for pound to me is a difficult one because different weight classes require different things. At the end of the day, if you go to heavyweight, to me, all the heavyweights, most of them have got that one punch power where when you hit someone's face, more time than not, they're going to hit the deck. Whether they get up or not is a different story, but they're going to hit the deck. Whereas lightweight, you hit someone down, you got to really connect precisely with that punch to get them down onto the ground because they're not really heavy punches. But
exactly.
Would you say he's pound for pound?
He's up there. He is up there. I'd say that he's in the top 5 for sure.
Who's your pound for pound?
Well, this is the thing. People are going to probably knock me down at the moment. My pound for pound at the moment is Errol Spence Jr. And that's just what it is. I know he doesn't have all the belts at the moment, but I think he will collect all the belts in the sort of welterweight division. That's just what's going to happen for me.
I agree with that.
I know what that guy's about. Yeah. You got Errol Spence, you got Terence Crawford. I think that's going to be sort of the pound for pound fight. And that should be probably coming by next year, to be fair.
Hopefully will, if Bob Arum allows it to happen. Yeah, I would agree with that. Errol Spence, I called him Uncle Errol. I've been calling him that since he gave Floyd the black eye. For me, when Floyd comes out and says, yo, obviously I got hit with a good shot in training camp, this, that, and the other. I know you're a proper boxer. I know that because Floyd came out with a real black eye in his interview and everybody said the stories behind the scenes like, yo, there's nothing. We're not going to go too much into sparring, but let's just say Floyd got that work.
Yeah.
That was Errol back then as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That wasn't Errol now. So, but listen, Lomachenko was top 5. So that's fine.
Yeah, I know what you're saying with the Lomachenko thing as well, because I know a lot of people would probably be calling for Canelo as the number 1.
No, I don't.
But my take on it is this guy's had too many sort of drug tests that haven't been handed in and things like that.
Swept under the carpet.
It just don't add up to me.
I'm eating the wrong meat and all that.
I mean, VADA can't be turning up at your house and you've just popped over to Mexico. I mean, where are you? And these are the things that Floyd Mayweather in his prime was saying. He wanted drug tests done dusted.
Olympic style
drug test.
Turn up 2 a.m. at your sleep.
And this is why the fights against sort of Pacquiao and things like that didn't happen when Pacquiao was sort of on the juice.
On the roids. We know that. We know that at the end of the day. That's our personal opinion. As simple as that. Why wouldn't you take those drug tests? Why wouldn't you do that? It's like, so that's for me. But we're going to end on just, this probably be short and sweet, boy. What did you think about Huey Fury?
Oh, dear.
Because that was a disgusting, horrible, boring, dismal fight.
Didn't he just sign to Matchroom?
Wait, what I'm saying is, and Eddie Hearn tried to spin it today. I see some interview talking about, a lot of people thought it was boring, but I thought it was exciting. Listen, Eddie, you said his cousin was boring. You said Tyson Fury was boring, but you think he's excited. No way, no how. I'm not falling for that. He should never, ever be on no pay-per-view ever again, because Huey Fury is horrible to watch.
Well, it just tells you who you know in the world of sport.
If his last name's not Fury, is he on that bill?
He's not. He's not on the bill. You'll find him down at York Hall fighting against sort of 40-year-old plus fighters. I mean, it was a bit of a joke, and the thing is, we all know Povetkin can fight.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He showed that against AJ.
Yep.
He had AJ in trouble at times in the fight.
Yep.
And he's a dangerous fighter. I just don't see how Huey Fury was ever going to win that fight.
No,
it's just two different levels once again.
He's horrible, man. He's horrible. Like, Eddie normally puts on good stuff, but for me, Huey Fury, that's just not a fighter that I just don't know. It's just a dismal performance. Boring.
Yeah, really poor.
You can even tell by the crowd's reaction. They just went to go and get their drinks, their beers. Said, "Yo, this ain't there's no knockout coming here, so it's gonna go to the 12 rounds or whatever it was, and then we just wait for the Lomachenko and Campbell fight."
It was just a poor bout. I mean, half the crowd were picking up hot dogs in the stands. I mean, it's just a poor bout. I mean, Eddie's just got to stop signing up everyone in the boxing division.
Yeah,
he's got to leave some boxers. You know what I mean?
It's just not worth it for the fans and whatnot. So we'll leave it there. All right then, guys. Another episode down. Hopefully, he will be back probably next week, or like I said, after the international week. Sam will be back with more of our usual guests. Hopefully, T, you enjoyed it this week.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, man.
Hopefully you have T on here a bit more. But that's it from us, guys, this week, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.